we must bring Laura Huttner in here, founder of Pebble, data-driven, creator-led marketing studio, who is taking everyone up and to the right ever and always with their content. Everybody, welcome inside of the show, Lauren Huttner. Lauren, get in here.
Hi.
Oh, Lauren, welcome to the show. We appreciate you making the time to join us.
Yes, hi. Thank you.
Absolutely. Lauren, tell us, how did you get here? I have heard that you're Forbes 30 under 30. I've heard basically everybody that works with you, they ended up getting like 50 million views like all the time. Can you give us a little backstory on you founding Pebble and how you've got to this point?
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes back to like freshman year. So in college, I worked for a data analytics firm for YouTubers. So like we were very early on making YouTubers go viral by optimizing the YouTube algorithm. And that company got acquired by Jelly Smack. My old boss is like the head of strategy at Mr. Beast, which is like crazy. And I kept freelancing. I kept working for creators and brands. And by the time I graduated college, I just thought I was going to go all in and build influencer marketing campaigns for brands. And so I did that for a little bit. And I was mostly working with consumer apps. And one day, one of my clients came to me and was like, Lauren, we have an issue. An app is pretending to be our app and they're getting like millions of views doing this like weird strategy. Can you figure out what the strategy is and build it for us? And it ended up being this UGC strategy. And so we started building it in like November of 2024 for them. By February of 2025, they had this 18 million view video that brought them to #1 in the App Store, brought the company out of stealth, and it brought me into this universe. And so since then, we've worked with like well over 50 apps. I've had like helped 4 apps hit #1 in the App Store, including
crazy
$1 million in 2 weeks. I like literally invented a trend, which is kind of nuts. And then, yeah, in January of this year, we started working with more Ecomm clients because my whole hypothesis is that, well, not even hypothesis, I think it's like a proven thesis at this point, is that you can really make anything go viral if you have enough volume and you're listening to enough creative signal and you're targeting it correctly. So the first brand we worked with was this silly string soap company called Dojo. And the combination of the product itself is like inherently viral. Like it's literally silly string soap. We had some good creative, and we had this creator that has like maybe the chubbiest baby I've ever seen. And it's so cute. And like their third post got 2.3 million views. And in 6 weeks, they had like 50 million views. So we've since brought on like a bunch more e-commerce clients, and like 2 of them had hit 10 million views in 6 weeks. Others are like repurposing it for Meta. But yeah, it's like crazy what can happen when you're actually throwing a lot of content at the algorithm and learning from it.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible. You recently just commented on Sean Frank's Hudson method and the way that you approach it a little differently. Can you talk a little bit about that, your difference between that?
Yeah. So, traditional like TikTok shop and affiliate, you're getting a lot more creators than I think we're getting, and 50-50 on, well, TikTok shop actually requires you post, but sometimes in like traditional PR seeding, it's like 50-50 on whether they're going to post, and they're definitely not going to post more than once. With our method, we're working with a smaller number of creators. Like most of the time our brands are working with 8 to 20 creators, but we're guaranteeing a quantity of content. So most of our starter programs are doing at least 1,000 posts a month across TikTok and Instagram. We have like a 2-step testing process on the creative. So the first step is to find the format. So if you look at any piece of content, it falls into different buckets. There's like talking to camera, there's compilations, we like to call it hook demo, where you like hook on screen with face, and then there's like a demo of the product. There's long text, there's all these different ways to like talk about something. So you have to figure out how people like to receive that information. And then you can go ham on the information. You can play around with the narratives, the storytelling, the application of the product. And so we're constantly looking for signals in those 2 buckets to like keep pushing the programs forward, get more viral videos, raise our median, all of that fun stuff.
Wow. It seems like you have kind of boiled this down to a science. I mean, when Chris and I talk about virality, there's a lot of like brands we think about, oh, like great for them. They got a lucky hit, all this type of thing. It seems like you have broken this entire thing down, turned it into a formula and a science. What has kind of caused you to do that? And how did you come by this formula and or kind of scientific approach to this?
Yeah, I mean, so it's low key out of necessity, right? Like you got to figure out why something is working and make it happen again. But I think it really breaks down into like three things that all work together. So the first is algorithmic precision. So one part that I left out of the Hudson method being like we're different from that is that all of our creators are creating new accounts. And so the TikTok and Instagram algorithm like new accounts because they're more malleable, right? When you create an account on a social media platform, they're like looking for signal into like what you're interested in so they can like push you content and keep you on the platform. There are ways that you can gamify like what you're into when you're on a new account, which is why we prefer that. So we give them like people to follow, content to repost, content to engage with. Most importantly is like search terms to engage with.
Yeah.
Really? I'm like blown away by this, Lauren.
You
This is
like you can figure out like you can put your content exactly where it needs to be just by like gaming how your account is like viewed by Meta and TikTok.
This is crazy. Okay, so that's number one. You said there's two
Number
more.
one is like algorithmic precision. Okay, like you've got to get yourself in the right side of the algorithm.
okay.
The second part is creative iteration, which just means like having a good process and being very diligent on what variables you're testing in every brief, identifying what's working, and then scaling what's working and getting rid of what's not working, while also having like a good ratio of experimental content. So we always run like a 2-to-1 ratio. 2/3 of the content is stuff we know works. It's variables that are like tried, true, and trusted. Scripts that might feel a little repetitive, but we can do with a different like visual hook or a different topic. Maybe it's the cousin instead of the sister that's like having this issue. And then 1/3 is experimental. So maybe it's like a new trending audio, or oh, we haven't tried long text in a while. Let's see if this long text will work. Or a competitor is doing it. Let's like try this. So you want to have like a good way to track all your data points, and you want to have enough data points too. So that's why we have so many posts go out. And then it's doing it at scale. So in TikTok shop world, there's like the 90-10 rule where 90% of your content performs like median, 10% pops off. It's the 10% that like drives serious like GMV. We see that actually work in the apps world too, and across like all organic content. 90% of the content is performing at median, 10% is popping off. And when those pop-offs happen at like what we like to call high velocity, so really quickly, like all of a sudden you're getting 100,000 views, that's when it's most impactful, I guess, like bottom of funnel. And so our job with the creative iteration is to raise the median, but also increase the magnitude of the content popping off.
I mean, this is crazy. When you're talking about volume, can you put some teeth into like total volume per month that you actually want to post?
Yeah. So like when you're starting out, most of our brands are doing just like 960 posts a month total. But we have some brands that have like over 50 creators. And I think if I do my math, what are they putting out? Like 28 posts? Yeah, that's like 10,000 pieces of content a month.
Every month?
Every month, yeah.
Chris and I are just floored right now at the volume that you're pushing out right now.
Well, I'm floored. I mean, we've heard it like a few. We've heard like 1,000 or 1,000 plus, like a few
1,500
times.
we've heard.
Lauren. I mean, like from people who are kind of at the very top end of like, we've got an army of creators and blah blah blah. But 10,000 it's like bananas. I don't even see how this works unless you have an army of accounts and new accounts and things to.
You have an army of creators and you incentivize them really well too. So that's like another core difference between a TikTok shop campaign that's like only affiliate versus what we're doing is like we have a base payment for all of our creators. They're making $1,000 a month at a minimum, which for college kids and some stay-at-home moms, like it's a great, little side hustle while they're watching the kids. We actually let all of our creators take on a maximum of 3 campaigns at once. So they're never like, going to sacrifice one brand for another. And then they get bonuses based on views. So if you have like a 25,000 view video, we pay you an extra $25. If you get 100,000 views, get you another $100.
Wow.
We have some clients that do like CPM based bonuses. So like
Okay.
I think the most we've ever paid a creator was like $10,000 one month. Some of the
Wow.
creators for Dojo were making 3 or 4K just a month from that campaign. So a lot of it comes down to just like incentivizing the creators to post and comply. And then on our side, we have a cracked team that's like managing the creators and making sure they're doing well and sourcing them, but also writing 14 scripts for all of our creators to do every single week for each client.
And I could,
That's crazy.
and you just posted this, but you are also hiring additional creative managers and creative strategists for your own company. Could you talk about this? I mean, because this post blew up. This post blew up.
I know. It was interesting because usually on Twitter, when you like say you're hiring UGC creators, you get like all the UGC creators.
Yeah.
But now we got a lot of creative strategists. No, I think we're growing really quickly, especially because now we've expanded into Ecomm, and apps and Ecomm treat UGC very differently, I've learned. But I think what's been awesome is like our team is just very interested in learning about it, and they're very awesome about just making sure everyone's having a good time and keeping people happy and like finding the data points and the nuances. And yeah, we're like a team of 8 right now, and I think we'll be a team of 12 by the end of the summer. Like,
oh gosh,
it's moving quickly.
Lauren, I can't imagine how you're pulling this off with 8. I mean, the volume that you're talking about is just it's
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It's not just substantial and significant. It's like monumental. It's like so many. It's so many people, creators, content, scripts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like so much to that.
Yes, it's a lot. But we also like we're lucky too that some of our teams like in house have like at least someone that's not the CEO helping us out sometimes. Like the Tolan team has 2 people that, you know, we go back and forth on ideas with. Some of our other clients do too. But we try not to be like too obnoxious to our creators. So we're not like knocking on their door every day, like, where's your content? It's like we get you all the time. It's just like, please get the deliverables done. But no, I mean, so many people now are like creating these creator armies for apps. It's becoming more of a thing in Ecomm, and you know, just having really good systems to operate creators at scale is just very important.
Well, go ahead, Colin. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I also would love for you to dive into the way that you guys are managing Meta partnership ads as compared to how it's normally done, and then how Pebble does it is like totally different. And I think the total correct way forward.
Yeah, because right now, like Meta partnership ads, you're typically doing them with an influencer, right? Like everyone's gonna roll their eyes. Oh, another influencer ad. Which, you know, some of them do quite well. Like I remember seeing Brooke Wyatt and Methodic, and I was like, wait, I'm sold on this product because like that was very, very good. But you know, the whole thing about like UGC and any ads like looking authentic is they actually have to come from authentic people. And so when we have them posting on these new accounts that like look like normal people, they just have like ambassador in the bio, it makes a difference on how it's perceived, you know, by someone that's receiving the ad, whether it's in an Instagram story format or in their feed, or, you know, my 50-year-old mom who like uses Facebook. Like, so it's very different when it comes from someone that's not an influencer. But the way we typically work with our brands is like they have access to whitelist all the content, and then when they do, like obviously it performs well, so the creator gets their little kickback from it. But like some of our brands are reporting that it's cut their CPC in half compared to influencer. So I do think this is going to be worth investing in moving forward.
Whoa. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, I think you should just lead with that. The fact that you're going to cut CPC in half is kind of bananas in the day and age of Meta being wildly expensive. Meta being Meta. Chris loves it, but I'm on the other fence. Chris, go ahead. What were you saying?
I find it so interesting, Lauren, that you have come from the tech side of things with UGC, and now you're you're branching into e-commerce? Simply because I normally have thought about the entirely other way. I have only recently been aware of like tech UGC being a thing. I didn't even know that it was a thing until like 6 months ago. But you know, of course, Ecomm UGC, it's like all we see all the time. It's like, yeah. I mean, we get it. We like need good creators to make unique pieces of content. But I find it so interesting that you have you know, it was like the other way around for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got my start with like a lot of tech companies. That's where I was like playing around in the first place. But interestingly enough, I had heard about this strategy in like 2023 when I was working at Inc. as a little intern. Tabs Chocolate, Oliver Bricato's
Exactly.
company, they were doing this strategy. And I think when TikTok Shop started, like people kind of turned away from it and were like, well, why would you run this if you could just do TikTok Shop, only pay for results? And you know, TikTok Shop has its own costs on like the quality side and recruiting creators. And so, you know, I've always viewed it actually as like whatever Ecomm's doing, apps will do next. So who knows, maybe apps will do like live streaming next. But I think we're kind of seeing that butterfly effect happen because tech companies are setting this like a new standard, especially in like creator negotiations and deliverables. Like, you know, if I approach any e-com brand, they're like, we're paying $250, $300 for one post and like raw footage. We're able to negotiate it a lot lower, and we're actually creating more effective creative at the end of the day because we're not like pushing strong CTAs. We're really like trying to play around with what shows up in the feed. We're optimizing for like feed rather than following, which I think is very different than how Ecomm has traditionally purchased.
That's fascinating.
Lauren, so a lot of folks that listen to the show are very massive consumer brands. They're all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
What size of brand is a perfect customer for you? So if a brand is listening to this and you're saying, hey, I want to work with Lauren, what is the perfect brand for you where they're approaching you and it's like, this is a perfect little ICP for us. We can hit a home run out of the park for them.
Yeah, we've typically been targeting people that are making like over $1 million a year in revenue, but don't have like too big of a team, right? Like I think, you know, if it might be more cost effective, honestly, sometimes just like build this in-house and play around. But if you don't have a huge team, you're not like overly invested in brand either. Like sometimes we hit a lot of roadblocks where it's like, you can't say that. We don't want to say like dupe. We don't want to say like, we don't like want to insult anyone. So like lean teams oftentimes work best with us, but you're also like making money and like understand you got to play the algorithm game. It's difficult with larger brands who like need to have very strict quality control. And obviously if you're a smaller brand, like you're very cash strapped. We were working with a brand that was smaller and we definitely got them off the ground. We got them their initial assets, but like they can't keep the program afloat because they need to focus on paid instead of like growing an organic presence. I also know there's just a lot of talk right now about people spending like 80% of their marketing budget on Meta and Meta ads. Like this is a great way to diversify that, you know, try your chance at TikTok, see how audiences react over there, while also collecting content that can be used not only on TikTok paid, but even Meta paid too.
Even Meta paid, yeah.
You know, what I would advise, having worked in several companies, this one to, you know, there's like milestones in e-commerce. You get beyond 1 million, that's a milestone. And then getting to 2 and beyond is another milestone. And then of course there's like 5 and beyond and just under 10, you know, how can I break through beyond 10 million per month? But still though, like at all of those places, if you do have a marketing lead, it's usually a person. It's usually a single person.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're doing tired. As much as they can. And I say, yeah, they're very tired. I would say like, never try to in-house this. I mean, it's just like what you are describing and executing that. And it takes so much expertise. It takes so much organization. It takes so much systematizing. There's like so much involved with that. Like trying to put that burden on what is very likely a single marketing team of one inside an e-commerce brand is ludicrous.
No, don't do that. Don't
Don't
overwork
do
your
that.
marketing lead.
Don't do exactly. Don't do that. They need to be working with Lauren or trying to find somebody like Lauren, which there can't be that too many. There can't be too many of those, Lauren. I think they need to be working with you guys.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I mean, I see what we talked about earlier. I'm like hiring. It's so much young talent like wants to get into UGC. They hear that their friends are making like thousands of dollars a month posting, but the whole backside of it is like crazy.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, I think Lauren, we need to have you back.
Yeah, wait. I'd love to.
We need to have you back, and we need to talk more of this. Let's do this. Lauren. This next time when you have a campaign or a video just go bonkers, which I'm sure is like happening all the time, Lauren, you just let us know, and what we're going to do is we're going to carve out 5-10 minutes, and you need to come back, show it to us. We will ooh and awe, and then break down for us why it works. Because
absolutely,
period. I'll do that for you guys.
What you guys are doing and the scale that you're doing it at and the amount of volume is truly unique, and we appreciate you making the time to join us.
Of course. Thank you guys. I'll reach out when I have another viral video.
Okay. All right. I'll do that. Thank you, Laura.